It's Knights of the Round, played on Capcom Classics Collection Volume 2 on PS2. The game's plot is simple. After pulling Excalibur from the stone, Merlin sends Arthur, Percival and Lancelot to fight the evil Garibaldi and unite Britain. We'll start stage 1 with Arthur. First level is the village on fire. For the gameplay, imagine Final Fight but with swords. Arthur takes the role of Cody, being the all-round character. Of course, he wields Excalibur. Our first enemies are regular dudes with swords, followed by armoured dudes with larger swords. Then comes the regular guys wearing helmets. There is an enemy clearing move by pressing jump and attack that gets everyone off your back but drains health. Also, make sure to destroy as much as you can and pick up all the gold, it's important. We reach the first boss, Scorn. He fights with a halberd and can grab you and throw you with it. He has the anime noblewoman's laugh because this is a 90s Japanese take on the legend of King Arthur. They'll call in a couple weak enemies to back up, but he's not that hard. My point reward gets me to enough points to level up, getting Arthur a new sword sprite. But we're leaving Arthur behind for now. For stage 2, Confused Fight, we're swapping to my 2-player room with me as Lancelot. There is a 3-player option, but I have never owned a PlayStation multitap. There's also no friendly fire, which is nice. Lancelot is the fast but weak character. He has a dive kick attack that I never discovered while playing. He's alright, but I don't enjoy him as much as Arthur. As we get into this forest, new enemies here are the hooded men with rapiers, the chubby men with halberds, and the huge knights who come in riding horses. You can steal horses you knock enemies off of, but I never found them very fun and just sort of awkward to use. During this we also get the knights with axes and shields. Later on we can find our fellow knights under attack from enemies. Saving them has them reward you with gold. Fight some more enemies and we end up on the next screen. We're out of the forest for now, where we meet the second boss, Bradford. He has 2 swords and fights on a horse which he gets immediately knocked off of. He also has a dive kick and he likes to jump all over the screen and use it. He also calls him back up, but he doesn't get to pull off much because we stand on either side of him and keep smacking him till he's dead. Stage 3, Battle at the Castle Fort, will be my Percival run. He's the big slow strong one and the one I found the least fun to play as. If the quality of the Percival footage differs from the others, it was recorded 2 years later and settings probably changed. Back when it was going to be reviewed, it was like the 3rd game I recorded and I was okay with just getting the footage of all 3 characters, so I never did a Percival run. When this changed, I knew I'd have to come back and play as him for this video. Percival's outfit is slightly different from last level. That's because getting a character to level 4 changes their clothes. After the first few enemies were inside the castle, I find a huge knight chest piece that calls a horse over. We mainly fight armoured enemies here, and at the end, more enemies show up from the huge door. After they're done, I enter. Recalls of Scorn appear as regular enemies here. After taking out all the enemies here, the level keeps going. I move on to the next floor where I fight the first magician enemy. There's also a red orb that when struck takes out all enemies on screen. Now tigers are added to the ranks of the enemy army. Then up some more stairs. Have to kill more enemies in front of the gate to get through it. After that, he's dealing with more tigers before I finally reach the throne and fight the boss, Arlon. He's a huge guy with a massive mace, and when he jumps he creates purple energy attacks on the ground. He also has a weird sliding lunge attack, and he can just super speed out of a combo or whatever that is. He's a pretty long fight and would have cost me a lot of money in the arcade, so it takes me a while to get even one hit on him here. It took like 3 minutes before I finally went down. Our army catch up and we celebrate overtaking the castle. Stage 4, Knights Festival. Back to Arthur, who's grown to level 6 and wearing some heavier armour now. There's a guy at the start holding a flag and I have to catch up to him. In the first of the barrels is a stat that grants a free level up. Don't know if the enemies here are crushing the festival or if this is just part of the festivities, but when I next see the flag man I swipe the flag. I level up again, but some of my knights are killed by arrows, so I head forward to deal with these arseholes. Another new enemy type, men with scimitars who can also fire arrows. After them is the boss, Phantom. He's a reskin of the rapier wielding enemies and dashes all over the screen. He can call in more rapier men to set birds on me as well. He'll also split himself into 3 while calling him back up and throw meat cleavers at me. And there's his fire spell. Despite that, it takes me much less time to kill him than Arlon. Well, not kill because he gets up and runs off. Stage 5, Expedition. Back with Lancelot who has some fancy new armour. Fighting by some water now. I like the stage's music, but there's nothing much new here at first. Same enemies. Lancelot's armour goes gold though at level 9. We start getting close to some mountains and there are even some houses here. This is where we meet the boss, Balbaz. He's in a massive suit of armour and has a spiky hammer bigger than Arlon's mace. He can pick you up and throw you, and he'll also body slam you. But because he's such a big target, he's slow and easy to hit. Then again, he also takes less damage than the other bosses. Still takes a while, just not as long as Arlon, to kill him. Stage 6, Knights in the Strange Land. We're back to Percival one more time. Here I discover Percival's dash and then forget about it. We're in a village overrun by the enemy, but once again it's the same enemies so I don't have much to say here either. Eventually I leave the village where it starts to get dark and I enter a cave. I fight many waves of heavy armour guys and rapier wields until I head back outside. In this wheat field is where I meet the 6th boss, Demonic Samurai Muramasa. Was he in the legend too? He can make fire up from the ground. Other than that, he jumps around the screen trying to run me through with his sword. He's not really that bad. When he gets to half health, he starts summoning fireballs from the sky. Doesn't keep him alive. Final stage, Decisive Battle at the King's Castle. Back to Arthur again for the final stage. We start off at sunset on the bridge leading to Garibaldi's castle. After taking out all the enemies on it, I end up in the village inside the castle walls. Once again the same lot think they have a chance against my unlimited credits. If the big armoured guys aren't keeping me down permanently, what makes the big guys giving shitty short swords and no armour think they have a chance? Once they're all dealt with, I enter the doorway to the outside of the main castle. Once everyone there is dead, it's inside the castle itself. Here we have spiked balls on chains dropping from the ceiling. They're easy to get past and they even one-hit kill the enemies coming after me. That's all for this room. In the next room is a mini-boss, an iron golem built by Phantom. Its only weak point is the exposed stomach. Its arms with ball and chain hands are held up by more chains that just drop them on me. And there's backup because it can't be too easy. The other hand can fire its spiked ball and it can make iron balls drop from the ceiling. Still takes less time to kill than Arlon or Balbars though. Phantom drops down while fighting the next group of enemies and I can finally kill him. The final room starts with Garibaldi on a horse fleeing from me. His repeated enemies don't keep me back and I catch up to him. He fights with a mace that can send power waves along the floor. I just keep mashing on him during my post-damage invincibility. When he reaches half health he starts throwing meteorites at me. At 3/4 life he gets off the horse to fight me up close. He has R1 shockwave slam and still throws his power waves. When down to his last bit of health he summons 2 mace knights, but they don't stop me. We get told that we recovered the Holy Grail from Garibaldi and that it's the only thing that can restore the destruction caused by Garibaldi. We're with Merlin and Arthur chooses to use the Grail to create a peace that lasts as long as he will. We then get told that England was unified and Arthur forms the Knights of the Round Table. Knights of the Round is a fun beat 'em up, but by the Capcom standards it doesn't quite reach final fight. It does become a bit of a drag towards the end. I also feel that the game's enemies mostly being faceless knights makes it have less character than Final Fight, but it's still enjoyable with a good soundtrack. There is a Super Nintendo port, but it seems to be pretty faithful to the arcade, so I see no point in tracking it down to cover it.